Dinosaur Maybe Show. We're back again, and we're very excited because we just saw one of the coolest movies, actually like 4 days ago.
It was a while back.
A while back already, because someone couldn't record, but nah, it was...
Don't blame me.
It was your fault.
Melinda wasn't ready either.
Anyways.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah, we saw Rogue One. It finally happened. It finally came out, and it was awesome, I think. What do you think? Loaded questions.
Always with the loaded questions.
So when did you watch it? Like we saw it Thursday, the day before the premiere. All three of us, not together. You guys were in the same theater.
Right.
And I saw it like...
some of her popcorn.
You ate
She
some of
stole
her
my
popcorn.
popcorn.
Which I guess is something that Claudia does at theaters. So watch out for that. But, and I saw it later.
Popcorn.
Yeah. I saw it at like an hour. No, like later that night. Yeah, 3 hours later.
We did the 7 p.m. showing and you did the 10:30.
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw it in XD and 3D, right. And you guys saw it in regular
XD, not 3D.
Non-3D. Okay. No, and I thought the 3D wasn't necessary. It added a lot to the depth, and that's okay. I don't like all that whoa, like in your face.
Then why do you watch 3D?
It's more for like the depth and atmosphere. That's what I do like.
I don't like it. It confuses me, but I feel like disoriented when I'm in. I haven't watched 3D since like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Like
what? Okay, 3D.
10 years
it's
ago.
Changed so much, girl.
Really?
The glasses are not like that anymore.
I think that's the last time I saw.
Yeah, you know they're
3D.
not red and blue anymore, right? Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, 3D was awesome.
It
was good.
confuses me.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool.
And
if you go to the right
I don't
movie.
like it though. I feel like I don't know. It makes my head hurt.
Okay. Yeah, no, it does. Some people though, like if you wear glasses or have
yes, and I'm super blind, and it makes my head hurt.
And it makes the image a lot darker, which is one thing that I was watching. I was like, man, this is really dark. Mm-hmm. But once your eyes get adjusted and all that, I think the 3D is good. Experience it once in 3D because you see a lot of that depth stuff, especially with all the space battles that happen in this movie. Really cool. I recommend it in XD and 3D if you can once, but XD was pretty cool
for sure.
Yeah,
like for sure.
Where'd you sit in the theater?
We sat in the same row. We're in L.
Oh,
so
yeah,
the
in the very back.
last one. Yeah.
That was a good
second row to the screen.
Ooh, how was that?
On this side.
And the good thing about our theater...
kind of hard to watch it, but I mean, I still watched it.
Were you able from your angle to see the names of the planets at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see them.
Well, and also helped that because it was XD. The screen was from roof to
huge,
floor.
yeah.
So I don't think it would have been the case if it was like a regular sized movie screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that's happened.
No, it was.
Right?
I mean, it was okay. I mean, it would have been great to sit in the middle, but we bought our tickets a little late. So,
but I mean, still, the fact that you bought them a week later and you were still able to see the first showing on the first day. I mean, that's pretty good.
Sunday before the showing. That's the day we bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw it in the last row as well for Rogue One. The audio was awesome. It was great. I really like the XD, especially for this movie. Just watch it on the biggest screen you can. If you know, and in 3D, I recommend it at least one time. Because it wasn't bad. It adds to it a lot of the dimension. But aside from all that, so we finally got Rogue One, which takes place, which is funny because some people didn't know that it was in between episode 3 and 4.
I think any Star Wars fan would know that though.
There was a couple people, not me. No, of course I knew that I'd been following this and I was so excited from when it, they announced it. And I didn't know what to expect. I remember thinking, I know they're stealing the Death Star plans, but is it going to take place like right before, like in the middle of episode 3 right at the end of at the end of episode 3 right after that, or like in the middle of between 3 and 4 timeline wise?
It was 19 years after episode 3, like 15 minutes. Well, it ends. Rogue One ends like 15.
Spoilers.
All of our podcasts are spoilers.
Yes.
Rogue One ends like 15 minutes before A New Hope starts.
Which is crazy.
It's insane.
It's a cool surprise. It was a surprise, right? Like that's one of the big, like you didn't know.
The way it was going to end or what was...
That it was going to lead right into it. Or
Marlene
did you know?
and me were kind of like
when it started like kind of...
when he got it and they were passing it to each other and
like,
I don't want to talk about it yet, but that Darth Vader scene... And they were just trying to pass it to each other. Marlene, we were like, "Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be R2D2? Who's gonna get?" She's like, "I think it's Leia." I'm like, "No, because R2D2." So we're like talking throughout the movie.
Oh, really?
But yeah, so I mean, we anticipated that was gonna happen, but we didn't know to what extent was going.
And then you see her ship. The Tantive 4 or something.
Yes.
It takes off, and you're like, "Holy crap!" Yeah, and that's such a big moment. And I know we already skipped to the end,
I know.
but we'll get back. But we can talk about it. I mean, we'll go all over the place with that happening. See, because like again, when they never mentioned that, right? Like in the marketing, or I didn't read anything ahead of time, but you didn't know how close it was to A New Hope. You know, that this was taking place like the day
I had
before,
read before,
right before
that it was gonna be that it was
okay.
it was happening leading up to.
I had no idea,
4.
and that was a cool surprise for me. That was a really cool surprise. But we can talk about that.
And you even
Vader
figured
scene.
it out during the movie though, when Senator Organa's like, when him and Mon Mothma were talking about, who are we gonna give these plans to? And he's like, I trust someone who's been in hiding, and it's that Obi-Wan reference.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're like, oh
with
my God.
I know a Jedi, right?
Yeah, I know a Jedi.
I know a
Your
Jedi,
friend.
a Jedi friend. Yeah, he's been in hiding, but this and that, and then so they decide there that's when he's gonna give the plans to.
So speaking of that, the first time you saw freaking Bail Organa, I was like, holy crap, that's so cool, and like such a minor character.
Age wise though, like it was perfect.
He
like
fit.
It was just
the lady in the way.
No, that's Mon Mothma.
But Jimmy Smits, the guy who
adopted Princess Leia at the end of episode 3.
Okay.
Yeah, where he has a daughter. He's like, I'll take the girl.
Yeah, he's like, me and my wife have been talking about adopting a baby girl. Yeah. So him. I loved that he came out. I wish he had more lines though.
Yeah, I mean, just him seeing him, I was like, whoa, that is so cool that they kind of tied it in.
He did play a kind of a big role. I wanted him to have more lines though, because during that exchange when they were talking about whether or not they were going to fight or not, they kept showing his shot, and it kind of bothered me. They kept showing him,
but they go back to
but
him?
he was just like looking back and forth, and so he was, but that's all he was doing. Like he wasn't talking, and that I didn't like that. But I mean, obviously it worked out when he went out and he had that conversation. But yeah, I wish he had more lines.
Man, he was cool. And then he came back, I mean, later on, because first you see him, and I thought it was just going to be a one-off kind of thing. And then later on, you see him again, and the Jedi reference. And
that cool line, do you have someone that you can trust? Oh, I know someone who, I'd give my life. Or what did he say? I trust her with my life.
Yeah, which is like, Leia.
Oh, because then she dies because of that.
Yeah.
In episode 4. So, yeah, but...
Wait, sorry?
He says
he dies in episode,
he's like, I trust her with my life. And then you
the
like
Death
think
Star.
to to that scene in A New Hope when they blow up
Alderaan. Yeah. And oh man, it's so cool. But before, let's go back. I guess the way the movie starts.
To the beginning.
The beginning. What happened in the beginning? I'm trying to remember.
Galen Erso and his wife and Jin are held
planet.
up. Yeah, so they're held up in this farm, and then
they come in.
And they want to take him away
to work on the Death Star.
Did you like him as a character?
Who the
Mads Middles? I didn't know
the
Galen
evil guy or the dad of
the dad.
Yeah, he was
cool.
He was okay.
I loved him.
Really?
I thought it was so cool because for years and years and years, I mean, since A New Hope in 1977, people have always critiqued that, like, who is gonna put a 2-meter wide thing? Like, who's gonna do that in the Death Star? That is so dumb. Yeah, and people have made fun of it and critiqued it and all these memes and stuff. And then for you to find out that it was done intentional, oh man, I love that. I thought he was it made me love him as a character.
Yeah, so that was a cool, I mean, that's a retcon, right? To fix a mistake.
To go back.
Yeah, a retroactive continuity. So you go back and you fix like a mistake that happened, or like one of those things that has been made fun of. Now that's intentional. So they use that mistake and made it a storyline plot point, which is very cool. I love
that. It was so I love that so much.
It was very cool. So that doing that where it's not just a dumb mistake that was overlooked, he did it on purpose. Where it's like, boom, you hit one, it lights up like a fuse and blows up the whole thing. So yeah, I liked that was a cool story beat. I felt the Admiral, what's his name?
Which one? Director Krennic.
Yeah, Krennic. I don't think he was like overly evil. Like
the one in white?
Yeah.
Krennic.
There was nothing showing that he was super evil. That it was like this.
He just wanted a power.
Yeah, he wanted to be in charge of what he built, right? He was the one in charge of this whole project and wanted that.
And that scene, I wanna mention it. That scene when he's having that conversation with Darth Vader. You guys know I love puns. I love it. But that line, that Vader said about you don't want to choke on your power as he's doing that the force choke. I hated it. I cringed. I didn't like that line at all. I'm like, oh my god, that was so dumb. I didn't like it.
Especially when he turned around and he's making the arm.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like he's doing it, and then he turns on. And he's like, you don't want to choke on your aspirations or something like that. While he was doing the force choke, I thought it was. I didn't like it. I thought it was so cheesy. And you guys know I love puns, and I didn't like that one.
I didn't mind it so much. What I did mind is like that. Well, they were trying to show the audience that he has the force choke on him. I mean, he could have done it with his mind. Well, I guess in everyone, Vader has done the little pinch where he's like doing it, you know. So that was cool. But
I didn't think he was evil because of his wardrobe, and I don't know, like because I look a lot. For those kind of that guy, the one that was dressed in white. I know they wanted to portray him like as evil, but it was interesting that they put him in white. Well, so I thought maybe he was like part of the rebellion, like in hiding. Oh. That was my like feeling through the beginning, but then I realized never mind.
Their insignias and stuff of what the ranks are.
Right, and that's how you knew about Tarkin. Then,
well, what was cool, they called him Governor Tarkin, and they had like different titles. So this guy was a politician at one point, or director.
Well, you learned about it in the books, is how he created the position of Grand Moff Tarkin and Grand Moff, that position. He gave it to himself. Like he was the first one to have it, but he created it, and I don't know. It has to do a lot with the little patches that they have. That's how you know what their position is.
Yeah, so you meet all these characters. It's a cool new planet. See a lot of cool stuff. The Death Troopers, right? I think they were the Black Stormtroopers. So then they go on, and you see this other character. This I forgot his name. The dude. Cassian, right?
Captain Cassian.
Yeah, you see him. Cassian, maybe. Yeah. Cassian. You see him interacting with this like guy who's giving him like secrets, and he just murders him. You know. And one thing I think we've talked in our past podcast about Star Wars, about the rebellion, and how this one actually took it to where they're kind of like insurgents. I mean, they are. And even they question that in that movie where like, we've done terrible things. We've done bad things for the greater good.
I like that though, that they went into that.
You don't see it. It's
a gray.
Black and white.
Right. The way you would see it in A New Hope and Empire and Return.
You clearly knew who your bad guys were.
Yeah, you saw the light and the dark side. And this one was a gray area of the people who were on the on the streets, front actually lines. Doing the fights. I love that they did that.
That was a different take on that. And even like Cassian killed like one of the rebels thing, and they were gonna kill him for that, but the other guys defended him. But I thought that was really cool, that whole attack where on that street where all the stormtroopers and they just started attacking and shooting. That was cool. What do you think about the blind non-Jedi?
I loved him. Cool. He was one of my favorite characters. One of the new favorite characters that I have. What was that? I am one with the Force. The Force is with me. Yeah.
I am with the Force. The Force is with me. Is that what it was?
I am one with the Force. The Force is me. Yeah. He was so cool. Yeah. I loved him a lot.
So he was using the Force. He was. What was it? They defended this. I don't know his name.
Chirrut.
See, I don't know a lot of their names. I've only seen the movie once. For the record, we've only seen it once. Sriracha?
That's the guy. Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, he was pretty much a Jedi, right?
It kind of looked to me
not reflecting blaster bolts. He didn't have a lightsaber. He was like maybe a Jedi in training 19 years ago that got maybe abandoned or something. I don't know the backstory of these characters.
I think he was a Jedi.
Well, he was studying. I think
he was one of those who like sees something and wants to be a part of it. Okay. But isn't one. I didn't think he was.
It felt to me like he saw it as a religion. Like, it's like a prayer. I'm one with the forces.
It was described as that in the original trilogy.
Yeah, as a religion. Yeah.
So maybe by him learning on his own about the Jedi teachings and stuff, like never formally trained, like self-taught maybe, because I mean he had Jedi reflexes,
right? And also the way he could like sense people and read people. He
sensed it without having sight, So,
but was that because of the Jedi or because of the way people have heightened?
I think it was because of the Force, because him, dodging blaster bolts, walking through, and doing
I don't doubt that he had the Force in him and midichlorians or whatever. Not a Jedi. I mean, obviously, I don't think he was. I mean, he wasn't an actual Jedi. There's no Jedis in this film.
Yeah.
Which is
but
something also that's
aren't
crazy.
they in the
Well,
Jedi planet, like the last
Darth
Jedi
Vader.
planet?
Darth Vader is a Sith Lord, sir.
Yeah. So what were you saying? The what? The Jedi planet? Yeah, where they had. Oh, another thing. Speaking of the Jedi planet that you brought up, kyber crystals. First time they ever mentioned in any film.
Oh my gosh, I know.
First time they ever mentioned.
And for her, who's not even a Jedi.
Yeah, and they had it just as a reminder or whatever, as for hope or whatever, and which they kept mentioning hope, which is why you have a new hope in episode 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, kyber crystals is stuff that makes the lightsaber work.
Right.
Not even like just in the novels, I guess in the TV show, but now it's canon. It's mentioned in a film, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and then you get another surprise. I thought a really cool surprise was when you saw Grand Moff Tarkin. You saw him there, the reflection, and we've talked about this a little bit. I was like, holy crap, are they going to show him? Like, how are they going to do this? That's what I was thinking, because they started with the reflection.
I would have been okay if they just had it like that.
Me too. If
they had him for too long on screen, and they had him up in your face.
Yeah.
And he looked... I appreciate it. I love that he was included in the film, even though he is not with us anymore.
For a story beat, as a character, it was awesome.
Right. If he didn't have that big of a role.
You know who I'm talking about?
The black guy?
No, the guy
Tarkin,
who was the main bad guy that would fire the Death Star on the two different places.
Remember when the two old guys were fighting about the power?
Uh-huh.
So the other one. He looked real skinny.
And like
skinny
sick, like and evil. Sick. Okay.
Did you see anything weird with him?
No.
Like cartoony. He was CGI.
He was CGI.
His whole thing.
You didn't notice that.
He
okay.
Which is good, right?
It's a good thing.
For non-Star Wars, someone who didn't know that, like the actual actor died in '94.
Yeah.
He died in '94. So he died 20 years ago.
I didn't even point that out.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, how are they going to do this? Yeah. How are they going to do this? And then they showed him.
You went in knowing that he had to have a role, because I mean, he had a vital role in episode 4.
Oh yeah.
But I would have been okay if they had him for a little while. I don't.
They stay. You're right. They stay too long on him, where you can see all the imperfections.
Fake.
So there's a term for this, and I don't know if you're aware of it. It's called the uncanny valley. So that term is where there's something CG, like a human thing, and you're like, there's just something off about that. It's kind of like a disturbing feeling that you're getting by watching it, like that face that you're making right now. Like, that's you experiencing the uncanny valley.
And like I said, I appreciated that they did. I love that they had him, but I would have liked if maybe it was farther or just different shots, like just not up in your face. And
or a cutaway or something.
I don't remember what shot you guys are talking about.
He was a big part of the movie.
He played a lot. He had a lot of lines.
At the very end.
He had more lines probably than Darth Vader.
Yeah, he did. He had more screen time than Darth Vader did.
Yeah.
He was the one that fired the Death Star to the both planets.
Right.
Even at the end, where like it hit.
The one where Saw Gerrera, that's his name? Forrest Whitaker.
Okay, yeah.
That planet. So the first time that he like fire.
So the viejito that was against the white guy, the one in white the whole time.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's a cartoon character.
He was CGI. His whole entire thing. Yeah. He died 20 plus years ago.
I thought he looked evil and grayish.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's good. If you didn't notice, like, oh, there's something weird about it. Maybe because we are aware that he passed away and he's no longer. I mean, he'd be like however old he'd be. That. Yeah, I mean that he came out in 1977 in A New Hope, and he died. He was
already old.
Yeah, and he was already old in that movie.
Wow.
So it was cool. Story beats. The technology we felt wasn't there, or they could have done some camera stuff or spent more time on it.
So skip to. Can we talk about Leia already?
You want to jump to Leia?
Yeah, because it's still with
since
CGI.
we're on CG, yeah.
I want to talk about that.
Okay.
What did you think about her? How do you think she looked?
She was super cool. Like, I was like, how do they make her look so real? Like, her skin looked so real, and her like pores were like open, and I was like, damn.
Wow, you saw it pretty up close. You're like,
I was in the second row. I was like, wow.
You know, and when I saw Leia, I was like, oh, are they going to show Leia? Are they going to show Leia? And then she turns around and I don't know what the last lines are.
I thought it was going to be just, she had the hood on at the very end. Okay, so spoilers, at the very end, Leia comes out.
Yeah.
They give her the plans. So she had the hood, and so they come in and they give her the plans, and they say, what does this mean for us? And so she grabs it, and I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be the hood, like we know it's Leia, like it's a good. And then turns around and it's her face this big in the screen, and she's like, it means hope. That's her last line. That's how it ends.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh man, that's so CGI.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. Like
it does.
In 2016, for them to be doing that when Carrie Fisher in real life is 60s, 70s.
Probably, yeah.
And for them to do that, I think it's so cool. But you don't
think the technology's there at the time. Yeah, it's not.
I think maybe even like, I don't know, a few years from now, I think we'll be there. But for right now, I don't think we were there.
Yeah, when I saw it, I thought the same thing. They're going to tease it. We know it's her. You know it's Princess Leia. And then they show it maybe a little further away where they spend too much time on it. Lingered.
Super close.
Because I think the mouth.
Her mouth is real tiny. And she's
very
like,
tiny.
This means it gives us hope. And it was so tiny. I'm like, no.
Like maybe a profile shot or something else. But
it's because I think they wanted to show us, like, look what we could do.
Look what we can do. Yeah. And story-wise, great. And it was cool that they could do that, like you're saying. It was super awesome. I was excited that it happened, but I'm like,
someone in our did you hear someone in our audience screamed when Leia came out?
Yeah, people were clapping.
Too. Yeah, but like someone actually screamed. You didn't hear?
No.
It was someone from like this side of the theater.
Like next to you.
No, not next to me. Like the opposite side. But I heard her like she full on screamed.
Like
like she squealed. Yeah.
What the heck? I didn't hear her.
Well,
and me and Marley also were like, oh my god, like we freaked out, but like we didn't like scream. Like she full on screamed.
People clapped. I heard them clapping.
Yeah. So some other characters that were in there. You had K2, which is the awesome
K2SO.
droid. Yeah, he was
the black robot.
Yeah, the robot.
Hilarious.
He's awesome. Yeah.
That would be me in those movies. I'd be the robots.
You'd be the robot?
According to you guys. According to the rumors.
The rumors. Yeah. He was such a cool character. I loved him.
He was a comic relief. And every line that he said, I laughed out loud. I thought he was...
Don't mouth off or whatever.
That's the last time you mouth off. And also when Jin shoots him, he's like, did you know that wasn't me?
Did you know? Oh, that was just a go. She killed him.
It was every line that he said. And also right before they leave, he's like, Jin, I'm with you because what's his face said that I had to be. Just every line that he said was hilarious. I really, really liked him.
He was great. Deadpan. What do you think of the humor about him?
He was funny. Yeah. Like I thought that he was like the C-3PO of this movie, right?
The anti C-3PO or something,
he
which is cool.
Yeah, the way C-3PO was funny, unintentionally funny. But this guy, like, you could tell that they were trying to make him the comic relief.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I think, in my opinion, it worked. Yeah. I laughed every time he came out.
He was a great character. And the way he went out, man.
No, but, oh, man, I know. It was so good. No, but I think, actually, the line that I laughed the most in wasn't a K2SO one. It was by, I forget his name, the blind guy.
Okay. What did he say?
When they're taking them away and they put a hood over him. He's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. I'm blind. I laughed for a good, 5 minutes afterwards because I laughed out loud. And then I continued to watch the movie, but it kept coming back to me, and I kept laughing for like a good 5 minutes. It was so funny.
That was very funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Good.
So
I think that was one of my favorite lines in the whole film.
It was great, and like with K2, with the way he went out, like a freaking hero, like defending, just shooting stormtroopers
and also shout out because he said the iconic I have a bad feeling about this.
They stopped him, didn't they?
Jin stops him. Yeah, they shush him. But I mean, the fact that line is said in every single Star Wars film, and for him to be the one to say it, I'm like, yes, I loved it.
It was cool. He was a great character. I loved. It was by. Have you seen Firefly?
Yes, it was the blonde guy. I know
the pilot from Firefly. So he's a cool character, very lovable. Mm-hmm. And have you seen how they shot it? I just today saw. He was on stilts. It was him like doing the acting. Really? So he was a mocap for it. So he had like the little cap with the little registration. Jar Jar kind of.
Oh, no. I was thinking of what's her name from episode 7? What's her name? The one with the goggles? No, she came out in the cantina.
Okay. The blind,
Kanata.
The old lady.
Something, yes.
Kanata.
Is it Kanata?
Something like that.
Moss?
Moss Kanata. Something like that. I don't remember her name. I don't remember.
It's been a while. But yes. What were we talking about? K2. No. K2. Yes, the way he was filmed. And he was on stilts and he actually had a head. So you can look up at how tall he was. Mm-hmm. Very cool. I loved him.
Pablo and I thought that the scene with the Sword Targaryen, that guy.
Huh?
What's his name?
Sorry?
The one that like rescues her from the hole at the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
Saw Gerrera.
That one.
Targaryen.
Targaryen.
Sword?
I think that's how you say. Okay. I think that's how you say his name.
Sword Targaryen.
Is what she said. Targaryen.
Sword
Targaryen.
Like sword?
I don't know, like SOR and
SAW. SAW. Guerrera, Gerrera.
He's Hispanic, and you know what was cool too? Did
you like his character?
I think he was like kind of useless. There was nothing.
There was nothing for me. I'm like, what? Because all he did was provide the video of Galen.
So, and he was kind of a bad guy because he like lobotomized that TIE fighter pilot or the pilot
for no reason. He already had
because he thought video. he was a defector or whatever. But yeah, like I guess it was showing that they were doing bad stuff even for the rebellion.
He was an extremist. They called him an extremist. He was a
rebel extremist or whatever.
He did nothing for me. When Jin went in and she was really mad and he's like I did it for you. She's like I was 16 years old. Like I don't know. Like
was this something was he a character that was explained in the novels?
I don't remember him at all. Like I don't.
Did you read the previous novel?
I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about his character.
Neither did I. And I think that might have been.
He was a new person for me.
That was either a strong thing or because like. This movie just started. It's like, hey, we don't need like a backstory, 30 minutes on each character to tell you who they are. Right. I think it did a really good job, except for him. Yeah, super fast. You got to know what character they were, who they were, what they stood for, except for him because he was just there that raised her.
He came in. He was.
And she left.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just.
I like the way his character. It was kind of a wasted, unless there was some stuff that was cut that maybe developed a little bit more.
That's why I told you it felt really long, and we felt that whole thing could have shortened it. Like Pablo was like, "No, like we don't need that guy." Oh, like Whittaker. The whole cave thing. I mean, when he rescues her, I thought maybe he was gonna become like a big character in the movie, but then they just killed him.
And that's true. Maybe they did, and it's just deleted or extended footage that we didn't get to see in the final cut. That may be the case.
They might have already cut it. Yeah. So that's probably why it felt maybe shallow. Maybe that's one thing.
Yeah. They took out too much, and we had to like fill in the pieces.
And they didn't give us enough. All we figured out, he raised her. He took her out of that hole. Right. He raised her for 16 years or whatever, how many years? 5 years, and then left her. And she was on her own or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was a rebel extremist. You're right. Also, we found out a really cool question. I talked an answer. Darth Vader. So I missed it. I on Twitter yesterday. I had to go to the restroom. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you went to the restroom.
I drank water.
I would have held it in
for one more hour. I couldn't have. I would have missed like the climax, or I wouldn't.
You shouldn't have drank anything all day in preparation for it.
I drank a lot of water.
I chugged a Starbucks coffee right before to like it pumped me up. Yeah. And also because you didn't let me get Starbucks that day, and I was mad. So I got Starbucks that night.
See what I have to deal with.
And whatever. And I didn't know. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not moving from my seat. I am gonna stay focused.
So I wanted to, and the part after, so I had to go to the restroom, just so you people know. When after the planet, they escaped from that planet. Was it Jeddah? When it blew up with the Death Star. Oh man, those Death Star effects. How cool was that, like, shockwave?
Did you like the... Oh, yeah.
Like a nuclear...
in slow-mo?
Slow motion. Because like, you're seeing it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I know. It was so cool. I love that. It was like... what's that film we talked about? Inception times 10. Like, it was so good.
A tidal wave of just, like...
Of just destruction. Because when we see in A New Hope, Alderaan...
will just explode.
That's all we see. Yeah. But for us to be in the ground while it's happening.
Well, and then that one wasn't a planet destroyer. Well, it was what was it? One channel or one quadrant or something of power. So it was a quarter of the power or whatever it was.
So it was just the port. Yeah, and they wanted. That's when Tarkin wanted to test it out. And so what's his face went to Vader to tattletale on him.
Yeah.
But
where he says, "I should be the director."
Amazing to see. To be on the floor while it's happening.
And it's like the rumbling and the it being destroyed and whatever. Man, that was so cool. So that's when they were up in space. There's a little bit of character development between Jin and Cassian. And I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. Now's the time. I ran downstairs, went in the restroom, washed my hands.
Popcorn.
Yeah, no. And I came back and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I just see some weird dude like looking at a tank, and then I'm like, is that Vader? I almost missed freaking Vader. And I sat down, and you just see like the thing. Did you know who that was at the beginning? So before that, I just found out on Twitter yesterday that they showed Mustafar. It was like Mustafar or Lava Planet, which is supposed to be Mustafar.
They already confirmed it was Mustafar.
And a castle, Vader's castle. I didn't see that. So when I watched it,
and they had talked about that before.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, not. in the comics or like in novels, they had hinted that there's like this novel where Wedge Antilles says that it was rumored, and this is like quoted in the book. It's rumored, that Vader has like a castle or something, and so they had talked. It had been discussed before, but for it to be there, and obviously like it wasn't like a close up. Yeah. This is Vader's crib. It wasn't like that at all. It was just like a wide shot.
Oh, is that where that scene in the rain and everything happens?
It was like a lava.
The lava planet.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that.
Right.
I did not see that. So I want to go see it. But so I go in and I see the tank, and they question the bacta tank, which we're assuming is bacta, but it probably is bacta.
No, it is bacta.
Okay.
It's bacta tank, and I like that because that's what
Luke was
did in Empire. Do you remember in Empire when
the snow planet
at Hoth?
The snow one,
right?
Yeah.
So that episode. Okay, do you remember when Luke gets injured and they put him in this tubey thing and he's like in a diaper?
Yeah, he's in
this gel like liquid, right? He has this like mask. So that's this healing thing that they use to like rapidly heal him. So you learn in Rogue One that is what Vader uses, or what Anakin uses to make him like that smooth baldy thing that you saw, when you compare him in all burned in
episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I was gonna say repent. In Revenge of the Sith, and so, but then you see him at the end of episode 6, and you see him like he's like shiny and bald and stuff. It's because of the bacta tank.
So the bacta tank heals you. So it answered a question that we had in a podcast before. Does Vader take showers? So this is pretty much a shower. It's confirmed. Vader takes a shower, probably regularly, so he doesn't smell so bad when he takes off the mask. Right. But yeah, that was very cool seeing that, and I was like, oh man, is there going to be... And then like the next scene, he's talking to White...
Krennic.
Krennic. What did I say? Krennic?
Krennic.
So he's talking to him, and he tattletales on him, and he chokes him. So just seeing Vader, I thought that was it. I was like, oh man, was that only going to be Vader? I was like, was that the only thing Vader was going to be in? Which could have been, just like a little cameo and stuff, but we get treated as something else later.
I know. I would have liked Vader more. And I know that I should be grateful.
The story was not about him. Oh man.
Yeah. Obviously, like it's not about Rogue One's not about him. But as a Star Wars fan, you want to see Vader all the time.
So with that's when I was saying I didn't know because Vader came out. I wanted to see him like continuing the Jedi Purge because we still haven't seen that. Okay.
In Rebels. Yeah. That's what it is. You see him going.
See it in a movie.
I know, but if you, that's what Rebels is. You see Vader out killing Jedi. So if you want to see that, watch Rebels.
I need to.
It hasn't been in any film, but that's if you want to physically see it and not read it in a book or a graphic novel. Watch Rebels.
I think hopefully we get there. In a movie, and they could do it. They can continue to do it. It could be its own story of one Jedi maybe running away from Vader. They can easily do that. There's many stories. So that was cool. When we saw, what were we talking about? Vader's castle, and then we saw Vader, the bacta tank, and then there was some cool stuff. And my notes ended.
No, and I just want to comment on the fact that he built his castle on Mustafar.
Yeah.
That his final battle with Obi-Wan. He could literally choose anywhere, and he chose to have it there.
It's like this. It feeds him or something, right? I was reading on Twitter on Gary Whitta, which is one of the writers of this movie Rogue One, and he's written, I think, Book of Eli.
I think I saw that also that he's kind of not that it takes him back, but that it kind of it feeds into that conflict that he has, between his Anakin and Vader, which is oh man,
pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of little Easter eggs. We saw the guy from A New Hope when they bumped into him on a planet, like he doesn't like you, that kind of thing. You remember him? Then you straight up see R2D2 and C3PO, and there's I think there's a planet that's like an anagram of Obi-Wan. So there's little things like that. Did you catch anything else?
No, I wrote down here Easter eggs and I listed them, but no, we pretty much talked about all of them.
there's one that I thought was cool, and so this is kind of fast forwarding, and let's go back if you remember anything. But those space battles, how cool was it to see? Well, when they didn't get any support First of all,
Oh,
they didn't get any
yeah,
support. They went on their
Mon-
own from Mon Mothma and the Alliance because they couldn't afford the losses, and they gathered their own ragtag team and called themselves Rogue One,
Rogue One.
which was cool. And later on in the movies, and we even talked about Luke being Rogue Leader later on, and that's where it started. You can see Rogue, the call name Rogue, was from them, and that's when Luke was later Rogue Leader. And also, I mentioned in that space battle, Red 5 died, which was the call sign that for Luke is now Red 5, and they made us, and the mustaches, they try to keep the same style. You have these old, like pilots, rebel pilots.
And I read somewhere, I think I read it on IGN, that they used a shot from A New Hope that they filmed in 77.
Oh, really?
That unused footage of one of the fights. So one of the helmet scenes, like apparently one of that was actually, and they remastered it. So it looked like it fit in. I didn't notice that, so I want to go back and know what I know now, and I want to look for those pieces and see that looks kind of like it was shot in 1977 or whatever.
Is it the guy looking through the binoculars at the ship sleeping?
No.
They show that shot twice, and I'm like, hey.
No, it was one of those, like when they were inside one of the X-Wings and they, so cool. I know.
I thought it was so cool. I wanted to see. Did they show was Wedge in there at any point?
I didn't see.
I heard his name, Antilles, but they
weren't referring. That was another Antilles.
And that's one thing I mentioned. Antilles is like the Martinez or the Smith of the Star Wars.
Yeah, it's like the Garza. Like everyone's last name.
Yeah, Captain Antilles. Yeah,
no, that was a different one. Yeah, it's a different Antilles.
Yeah, because Wedge probably would have been there unless he was brought in later.
No, because what you're talking about, the announcement that they made was in the Vader's ship, right? What? It was you're talking. What are you talking about?
Well, Captain Antilles is when Vader kills Captain Antilles on Leia's ship in A New Hope.
Right.
I'm talking about Wedge Antilles. If he was if he was in the,
I know. Well, I thought you were talking about because when Krennic and Vader are having a conversation, you can hear in like one of the announcements of Captain Antilles come to blah 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 blah. But that's what I'm saying. Antilles. Like that was a different Antilles.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's just their own Easter egg. Like everybody's named Antilles in here.
I don't know.
It's just a common name probably. Yeah, and you also have. So you have the planet. The space battles were so awesome. What do you think about the space battles?
My favorite one was like the suicide. Obviously, everyone is like a suicide person in this film. But when they're trying to get the connection, and so they're like, you have to get rid of the shield or whatever. Yeah. And so when they crash into the ship, so it can crash into the other one and then destroy it, my mouth dropped. That was so cool. I thought it was so cool. Yes. I love that. So that's still one of my the scenes that just stands out to me in that entire film.
Amazing. I love X-Wing battles. Like I sent you a snap, which is my Rogue Leader GameCube game. That game, and I played Rogue Squadron, which is the first one on I think like Nintendo 64, and then Rogue Leader was on GameCube. I played that game so many times, and like it's so great because it's Luke, and then you go on a Wedge and do your own missions.
I really
so awesome.
In Rogue One, I did like the ships. I thought they looked cool. We got introduced to some new ones.
Which was the U-wing? Is that what they called it?
The new one, yeah.
That was a V-wing, but
a new one, and that I really really liked. And my sister Marley, she didn't like the ship. She's like, they look too fake for me.
I don't understand that. Like I know you mentioned Marley thought that. Like, what was it, the CG or just the way they moved? That's what I'm guessing.
Something? The CG, she didn't like the way it looked. She's
like too clean, maybe, or something?
She kept saying, she's like, it looks too fake. It looks too fake. And I'm like, I think it looks so cool.
I thought it looked really good.
I didn't see it as fake. The way I saw Tarkin and Leia as fake, I didn't see the ships like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's real.
Yeah, those shots of like the Star Destroyers and the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters. I mean, just like a million TIE Fighters just going off, which was insane defending. Oh, man, some of the best battles, I thought. And I love the space battles, like in Return of the Jedi, all that stuff out there. It's some of my favorite. So cool. Yes, and then them getting through the generator, the shield, and that whole. That's something new. The force field. The actual
between the actual.
Yeah, like that you couldn't pass through it. The only like other shield
we had seen
was like an imaginary shield.
Well, we saw in episode 1. Remember with the Gungans?
The Gungans.
So we saw that shield, and then we also,
but not a planet-wide shield.
Right. That was cool. Amazing. That was really cool.
And then like it was there, how that planet was really nice. What was it? Seraph? Yeah,
Seraph.
the battle Seraph. Very cool design with the beach and the water. You see the AT-ATs.
So the AT-ATs. Different from what we see in Hot and when they were in the Battle
Episode
of Hot.
5, yeah.
Right. So they looked a lot weaker, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, they had time to continue building them and perfecting them
putting more armor in them or whatever.
Right. But I want to talk about the beach scene because we haven't talked about that.
Okay.
That entire fight scene was amazing.
Yeah.
And everyone was dying.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. I loved it.
A lot of, the tone. I talked about the tone in this movie. There was a lot of death. And, okay, a question. What did you think? Did you think they were all going to die? Like,
yes.
when you first started the movie, what did you think?
I don't know. I didn't expect them to all die. And then, the blind guy dies, and then his buddy dies.
Well,
and
like the robot had died. K2 had died before that.
Yeah, K2 died. And, I mean, towards the end, right, when you get to the explosion of the planet, and then you see Jin with Captain Cassian or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm like, oh, they're going to survive, and they're going to get out, and woohoo, like, because he said that they were in there. Like, tell them that we're in here. That's what the guy was supposed to transmit. So I thought they were going to survive, and I was already thinking, like, maybe they're Rey's parents, in The Force Awakens. Maybe,
you were thinking there was a tie.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe they're the parents.
Like, they were introducing these new characters to continue on.
But then they die, so I'm like, no, they couldn't have had a child if they died.
Yeah, how cool. You thought they were all going to die.
I went in knowing the majority of them were going to die because we don't know any of them
in
4, 5, and
movies,
6.
Yeah.
Not the new movies, but in 4, 5, and 6, we don't know about any of those characters. So I went in logically thinking all these people are going to die. I didn't think it was going to be every single person we're introduced to, but I didn't think we were going to see all their deaths.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I thought it was more real, that people we saw, soldiers, and if that's what we want to call them, like these rebels, that they were actually the people who were fighting. It was a hard part, the dirty part of war is what we saw, and I really, really, really liked it.
Yeah.
It's something we had never seen. I mean, we've seen like rebels just fall here and there, fall, but you get to know the boots on the ground, not the main players, you know? Right. But I thought that was I was really surprised actually, like when once K2 died, and then once like, I was like, oh, they're all gonna die. I thought, I mean, I know I mentioned in our predictions kind of that we had another podcast was that, hey, maybe it'd be cool to see maybe, hey, on their side, their adventures on the backside, not as the main players, but on the backside of like Hoth. They're on the other side of the planet, or they're evacuating something. Be kind of cool to see from another perspective, the stuff we've already known. But logically, you'd have to get rid of them. I mean, it was cool though. It was very sad. It was very sad that last, and how was it for Krennic when he's just looking up and he's like, oh, this jerk, this a-hole, Tarkin, like, yeah, and just shooting, and like they could have like just targeted the main point
the
and
way
shot
they did,
in the main city, but now he's like, no, I'm gonna make him suffer. I'm gonna shoot over there and let the wave destroy him. And man, and that blast, just how it shot into space when you saw in Jeddah, like how crazy.
And it was getting so close to the Death Star.
Yeah. And we saw the Death Star travel through hyperspace.
Yes.
Yeah, which
when
has
it,
been
like,
a question.
Came,
yeah.
Oh man, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
No, I want to say something that bothered. It didn't bother.
Sure.
It just, it not grossed me out, but I'm like, why was the love interest?
That it almost didn't have to happen, right?
It did not need to happen. I loved episode 7 because it was just about like fighting people, like killing
like
dudes.
Between Rey and Finn, there's no love interest there. They're friends.
It was friendship.
Like the hug that they give them is like a
friend
friendship.
hug.
Yeah.
I love that. And so this one, I'm like, they're going the whole movie. It's going to be awesome. And then the whole thing where like they're walking out and they have like that look thing. I'm like, oh man. Then that passed. I'm like, okay, good. That's it. Then they do that whole thing in the beach where they like die together. I'm like, this is so unnecessary. I don't like it.
That's what I thought they were going for. Maybe
so
they're Rey's
saw
parents.
A relationship. Yeah. I think maybe at that moment,
I don't like it.
They could have done without it.
I want Star Wars to be just about like fighting and like killing dudes.
No, they could have done without it, which would have been just fine without it. I think maybe it was like that.
You don't
moment.
need it.
They don't need it. They
Episode
don't need
7 didn't have it, and it worked.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't think. And then Rogue One, that's supposed to be about like the actual like you said, the boots on the ground. Yeah. You don't need that. I wanted it just to be action without like having to feel anything.
I thought it was without. Okay, I think you're delving into some other issues, but but I thought it was very
independent. She could have been a rebel without a guy.
That was me.
She could have been.
That's what I wanted. I'm like,
she probably was.
That's literally what I wanted.
I think
I'm like,
at the
Ray
end,
was independent. She was awesome.
Who needed it more? You saw her hugging him. He needed that. He had his eyes open. Did you see? Like he kind of like looked.
Oh,
he had his eyes. It was
That was a bad sign.
No, well, like she hugs him because I think he was hurt and he needed to be comforted. So she was the one in power at that point. I think, but you're right. It could have done without it. But how would you end it? Like if they're dying and they're just both sitting, maybe just sitting and looking at it coming at them.
It could have even been. It was just a weird hug thing. Looking? You know the way it's like I know, and it's a cliche thing in movies where like something bad's gonna happen. It would have been awesome.
Toy
like
Story.
a parallel what?
What in Toy Story? Parallel what?
Toy Story. A parallel to Luke and Leia holding hands. Mm-hmm. Them seeing that their impending death.
Sure.
The waves are coming or whatever is coming, and for them just to look at it and just like a shot of them maybe like holding hands, that would have been okay for me because
didn't he put the awkward arm around her?
That was Luke. Yeah, no, but they also did a scene where they held hands.
Okay.
So at the end of episode 6.
No, they were all clapping.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking about Anakin. I'm thinking Lando clapping.
Cool.
Anakin,
there's a shot of two people
and
holding
Padme,
hands.
and his robot hand.
Nope.
Anakin
there's
and
another one. I don't know why I'm thinking Luke. Luke held
I
hands
don't
with
think
Leia at one
Luke
point.
held in episode 4. Chewbacca. And then episode 5, it's the awkward arm.
Right.
And episode 6, clapping.
Where did they hold hands though?
Never.
Why am I picturing?
In your fan
Luke,
fiction.
Maybe.
But you don't think holding
gross
hands
fan
is
fiction.
affection?
No. What?
You don't think holding hands is affection?
No, because like as a friend
friends.
thing. Like,
let's hold hands, friends.
We're gonna die.
They weren't best friends though.
But they
like
just
coworkers.
fought a war together.
But
they just met each other.
Yeah, that would have been.
Oh, but it's okay for them to have like
a
weird
hug?
looks
like
at each
you
other.
know,
No.
like we did it, but like.
No, I think it was more. What was that?
Like a holding hands would have just been weird.
That's like the ending shot.
What does that mean? Anyway, no, I thought because I saw his eyes and I remember seeing his eyes. Huh?
Don't make me laugh because I need to pee.
So I remember seeing his eyes and him like, he had them closed and then he opened and he made like this awkward eye thing. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, cause I don't know if she was looking at it or she just had her eyes like at his back and he was holding her. She was holding him. Mm-hmm. And he was like limping and stuff. But yeah, you're right. Could have done without it and it would have been fine. Here at this point, maybe he needed the comfort and she was stronger than he was.
I don't care about that. I just want fighting. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yep.
That's why 7 worked for me. There's no love interest. The only thing we saw was
bromance.
The bromance.
Yeah.
No, but we saw Han and Leia, but that was already established.
Sure.
Like, and
he even gave her. He's like, "Hey, how you doing, Leia? How's it going?"
whoa. Like, hey, wife.
High five, wife.
Yeah, but
we were married once.
We
but
were.
whatever.
Yeah, but oh man, that's. I just wanted fighting.
Yeah. So you get that. You get the awesome, so sad, blowing up of the Death Star. I mean, the Death Star blowing up. Yeah, the hopelessness. Everybody dying. The rebels getting the plan out. I mean, they got the plan up there. So cool stuff. And then you see where we talked about earlier, the Vader scene. You know, you just see like the tractor beam or whatever. They pull this ship that has the plans on there, and they're like gonna. They even make a comment like, "Oh, Lord Vader is gonna take care of it, or is taking care of it, or something." And then you just see the weird. You hear the weird noises, and you see the ignition of the lightsaber.
Oh, everyone was like, "Oh!"
I was like, "Please don't end there! Please don't end there!" I didn't want it. I thought it was gonna be just a stupid like, "Oh, they're just pulling us along, and it's gonna end with the red lightsaber." But then
you thought it was gonna end there
because that's how every movie that hates you does it. But
not
this
Star
one,
Wars.
not Star Wars, because here, well, except for here's your lightsaber, bud. Yeah, and you just see. I mean, we got screwed with Luke turning around,
no line,
and him.
Okay,
just
we haven't talked about 7 though.
Him looking like that was what? Oh, that's my lightsaber. Yeah. And Rey not standing like 50 feet away from him. Anyway, I thought it was just going to be him igniting the lightsaber and it ending, but I'm glad it didn't because
I just remember like that part. Marley and me just looked at each other. We're like, oh.
Holy crap. And then him just, what did I say I wanted? Him like killing fools, you know, and he did.
He's like,
boom, picking a guy using the force rage, man. Just that force rage right there. How'd you feel about it?
I was like, yay! One of the old characters came out. It's really cool.
What's his name? Dark
Vader.
Yeah, that whole scene was like 30 seconds, but it was 30 seconds of awesomeness.
Yeah, it was 30 seconds. And I remember who was it? I think, I don't know if it was you, where it's like, give him the plans, pass the plans on. And was that you?
What do you
mean?
No,
that was me at Olive Garden.
At Olive Garden? Okay, and like we know the plans get to them, but you had this like, just give it away. What are you doing?
Yeah, that was, we know what's going to happen, and you're still like, oh my God.
Because at that point, that's when they're tying up. That's the freaking ship that just escaped at that point.
Yeah.
Well, like he uses his lightsaber, chops some dudes up, uses the force, picks a guy up, throws them, and then like the guy at the door, then you see the lightsaber go through the door and him. Man. How cool is that? How cool is that?
Mean.
And then like the ship breaking apart or whatever, and then him just standing outside in space like a cool guy with the stormtroopers, and then you see Leia's ship taking off, and then them passing the plans to her. Man,
and then
that Vader scene.
15 seconds later, 15 minutes. I mean, A New Hope begins.
A New Hope begins. And so, do you remember how New Hope starts? Okay, so you have her ship, Tantive 4. Taken off, which is her ship that she was in, and you see the Vader Star Destroyer that he was on, which is the triangle ship, chasing after them and shooting at it, and then it like them like stalling, and then they board it. Yeah, and that's when Vader gets on there and like picks up a guy and is looking for the.
He's so bold. Oh man. Oh, so excited.
Oh, Vader, I smelt your stench or whatever. I don't know where that was, but it's like, man, they disrespecting this guy like real hardcore.
No,
yeah.
I know.
But that's episode 4. It just leads right into episode 4, which is amazing. So that crawl, do you remember the yellow text in episode 4? There's like a couple lines in there that says they've won their first victory against the Empire. The Rebels, which was Rogue One. They're talking about that last part in Rogue One. That was their first victory against the Empire.
For you to have context now for the crawl. How did you feel about crawl in Rogue One?
You know what? It just started. I was more concerned.
I love that it had a long time ago.
Yes, that was good.
I really like that.
It's still Star Wars movie. It's still
Star Wars, right?
And the Lucasfilm that still comes up, which is cool. But what I didn't like was the font for Rogue One. It was so thin. I noticed the font. I was like, I don't like the font.
The outer.
Yeah, it was like a stroke. It's like if you did that here, I'd be like, you know what, change that. Because
as a graphic designer, I would change.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Rogue and the Rogue One, and I saw it on everything else. It looks fine on everything else. Not with the really thin font. Anyway, nitpicking. I didn't like that, and they didn't even.
It took forever to have it because they did the entire intro when they were at the farm.
And then they went to Rogue One.
Marley and me do that where we Snapchat like that first, like the title of it.
And you're like,
and we're waiting for it. And so like obviously like I wasn't just on my phone. Like I had my phone here and I was just waiting for it to come out so I can take a picture of it. But it took forever for it to come out because we kept looking at each other like, is the title ever gonna? We didn't get the crawl. We're not gonna get a title either. Like
so. What did you feel overall about this movie?
I loved it.
You loved it? I saw your snap after the movie, and you would give it how many donuts?
Like 9.5.
9.5 out of 10. How about you?
I like that it showed like, I guess the real people doing the war, not just like the people in charge, but like the soldiers and what goes on like for that. I felt it was long, as you know. It was really long.
Which is ridiculous.
I felt like, you could have gotten rid of Sword Targaryen, Sword Guerrero, whatever. And like some of the scenes could have been shortened. But overall, I would give it a 7.
Wait, I want to change mine to a 10.
Okay. 10
No, because
donuts.
I don't like that they...
What?
That love interest pissed me off.
No, that's okay.
9.9.
No, but it was 9.8. So good.
Okay, so... I saw the movie. There was a couple of moments where I guess it's overanalyzing of certain things. Like, why would they put that there? Like the callbacks sometimes were a little too much. Like they made a big deal. If he would have been walking by, that would have been, or a bump and he turned, hey, and then that's it, which it kind of was, but it lasted maybe a second too long. The little Easter eggs. No, it's because
it wanted people to know that it was.
Oh, blue milk. Another Easter milk.
Blue milk.
That they established that blue milk is everywhere. So which was in the beginning, just a dumb thing.
Bantha milk.
is bantha milk, I guess. And the planet, I guess a lot of people are thinking it's Dantooine, that might have been.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, bantha
like,
milk is what they drink. It's galaxy wide. Like that's like their. That's their
it's
drink.
a regular drink.
A regular
it's a Kool-Aid.
It's like Sprite. Yeah, it's like something
the Coca-Cola.
That you drink. Coca-Cola. Yeah, nice refreshing bantha milk.
Yeah. So, but the planet that they were on when she was younger, that was Dantooine. They didn't name it, but like people were like asking, "Is that Dantooine?" Because you've never seen that planet. But what I thought of it, so I saw it. I nitpicked a little bit. I enjoyed the movie. The majority of the movie. I enjoyed the Vader scene, so it left a really good taste in my mouth. But I sat there kind of like thinking about it, and I was like, it was good. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like super overly like this is a 10 out of 10. It was a very tonally different, but that was okay. It was meant for, I think, an older Star Wars generation. It was a PG-13 movie, right? An older Star Wars movie, completely different from Episode 7, which is fine. But I felt I was like at a 7 out of 10.
Really?
8 out of 10. 7, between 7.5 out of 10. But thinking about it more now and going and talking, because I haven't talked to anybody about it except like little people. Hey, how was it? And I mentioned very little things. I'm super excited to see it again. And I think I might enjoy it more the second time around.
Like finding now that you hear, like you discuss the different things.
Exactly.
To actively look for the things that we talked about.
We talk about, enjoy it. Like as a fan, I loved it. As a film, it was like, I think it was good. It was good. Tonally different. It was 8. Like I said, 7.5 out of 10. But it's not bad.
I loved it. Like, and that's the thing is that.
Like I loved a lot of things about it.
I was so excited for Episode 7.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even imagine how excited I was. I mean, as for the day off at work, I'm like, that's Star Wars. Like 3 months in advance, you know? I hadn't even gotten tickets yet, and I was already, I'm like, I'm not going to work on this day. And I was so excited for it. And I was actually more excited. And I found that with this one, waiting for Rogue One, I was more excited than I was with Episode 7. Because I'm like, I am going to see what happened, what they talk about in the crawl of Episode 4. I'm going to see those characters. I'm going to feel those characters. I'm going to know what they did to get the Death Star plans. And I was so excited. I want to know the history behind it as opposed to...
What's going to happen next.
Exactly. You guys know that history is like my thing. And
the
obviously
fake
this
history.
whole thing is history.
Fictional history.
Yeah, no, but this... I mean, I loved it. I really liked it.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be close, or maybe we are out of time. I don't know. It looks like we're probably 3 minutes left on our card.
Okay.
Wow.
So we need to stop talking.
All right, so we got 3 minutes.
Okay.
I love the movie. I want to watch it again. As a fan, I loved it. I love the space battles, loved everything. I don't know, little things here and there. But I think I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to enjoy it a lot more because it was everything I wanted. I mean, I think, you know. But different tone. I don't know about kids will be into it just like Episode 7 was with Kylo. Like people love Kylo Ren, kind of. We haven't talked about 7 yet. But I liked, it was humorous. It was funny. You had Finn. You had all that different things. J.J. Abrams. But here, Rogue One was good. I really liked it.
No, I loved it though. No, I think what's giving me the more points than I'm giving to Episode 7 is that it was a lot of action. It wasn't like touchy-feely, like drama. It wasn't anything dramatic. It was action. Like that's all we saw throughout the entire film, and that's what I loved.
Very
so
action-packed.
That's what I'm giving them all my points.
Very action-packed. Claudia?
I like the history. Hopefully Pablo and I will get to watch it in 3D the next time that we watch it, and I'll look out for all these things that you guys mentioned. I like it.
And then watch Episode 4 right after. But maybe it's too long and fall asleep.
I mean, it has to be a certain time before
your bedtime.
Bedtime.
But anyways, we're running short on our card right here. So thanks for joining us. That was a Rogue One talk, and hopefully we can do an Episode 7 one soon. Yeah. But thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, share. Let us know what you thought of Rogue One in the comments. And have a nice night. Jim?
Merry Christmas.
No, you're not.
What's your name?
Jim.
Claudia.
Melinda.
And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everything else.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Or evening.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey guys, make sure you don't slam on the table because if you do, that's going to be really bad.
The first one that comes out as Chipotle is my life meme.
You have something on your pants.
My hair.
Gross.
I shed like a cat. Jim, why do you put up with us?
We already answered this question.
I know.
You didn't answer it.
We're crazy.
You
We're like the cats from Lady in the
ones who want to kill the baby?
What are they called?
The Siamese cats. We are Siamese.
If you please. They wanted to smother that baby, you know that, right?
And eat the fish.
Yeah.
That's Melinda and I.
First of all, neither of us like fish.
You don't like fish?
We just want to spill the tank and have the fish die.
Oh.
Because we don't like fish.
Damn.
Okay, I'm not a murderer like you with bugs in your windshield.
It was in my way. I couldn't drive.
Claudia,
it was
Claudia, it was actually up there. I saw you.
And it was so tiny.
It was a gnat.
It was a gnat. It looked like a fruit fly, and you killed it before its time.
It was a big gnat.
What'd you call it?
A gnat.
Mm-hmm. How do you spell that?
G-N-A-T.
Very good, man. You've passed.
I was a spelling bee champ.
Really?
Were you?
I think.
I think.
No,
according to the rumors.
I was in middle school. No,
he's offering you a bitten pretzel.
We're work sisters. It's okay. We can share germs.
We all die anyway. You know what I mean? What?
Like, we're work sisters. We can share germs.
We have before.
You touch everything I touch. I touch everything you touch.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. We go through the same door, pee in the same restroom.
Wow.
You touch the same faucet, come out the same door.
You wash your hands.
Walk back here. I touch your camera, touch your mic, everything.
My God, I'm cold.
And I wash my hands. Just to be clear. Jim, on the other hand, I don't know. Let's see if I know Melinda. Melinda hates ostriches. She hates ostriches. She's terrified of ostriches. She likes mustachones. She hates mushy, squishy, chewy things.
No, I like chewy.
She likes chewy, but she hates mushy,
squishy,
squishy.
Yeah. And things that go.
Yeah, anything that goes. She also likes.
What?
Black what guys. Is it gonna be something
black
gross?
Guys.
Black guys. I was thinking the same thing.
She likes black guys. That's her dream guy. She likes Hamilton.
We know you pretty well, I think.
Melinda. Harry Potter.
Yep, Star Wars.
Drinks without carbonation for the scientific friendly people. She likes no alcohol.
She likes no alcohol.
She never drank.
Melinda's a good girl.
She thinks her hair is black, but it's really brown.
It's black.
Her left eye is broken.
Oh my God.
It is. It's broken.
She says that she has big fat legs.
Hippo thighs.
Hippo thighs. There you
and
go.
I repeated it. And she's like, "Why did you say that?" Like the second day or something. I was like, "I thought you said it, not me."
And she thinks she's gonna die young.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be all right.
That's my friend Melinda.
Check 1 2 1 2. Talk normal. Say, "I know, Claudia."
That's rude.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go to. Well, you didn't say anything. Say something.
What? Like, I don't know.
Peak.
This is.
Okay, normal voice.
That's what I've been saying.
Alex, okay.
Veco Printing Incorporated.
Okay,
Ship to Far San Juan Alamo ISD.
Actually, that your waveforms are a little bit lower. Talk again.
Veco Printing.
Veco. Very low. Your waveforms are.
Veco Printing Incorporated. Ship 2. This is 3.
3. I don't know. Go to 2.
She's not talking normal though. She usually yells.
This is my voice.
Yell on number 2.
I can't yell. It just comes out automatically.
Like yelling like that. Yes. Good job.
This is just my voice.
All right. I think we're gonna leave it on 2.
Is it?
Because on 1, the waveforms like.
Okay. A lot of the time, I don't think you check the mics, Jim, when you edit. Because
I do. No.
When I watch it straight,
it's very.
Mine gets hot a lot.
Yes, because I cannot control your waveform.
That's rude.
For 1 hour.
Should.
I don't have time for that. That's why I'm trying to mix it here. I think we had it on the wrong settings the whole time. Good job. Because I really want to see that one.
Oh!
Gotcha.
So Melinda doesn't know how gravity and the weight of objects work.
Why isn't it?
I think that's the highest rank.
No, Yoda is.
He's a Jedi Master.
No, he was the Grand
Wizard. That's like the KKK or something.
No. Do you have Wi-Fi? Google it. Yoda is the highest you can be. Oh man, I totally forgot what he was.
Boom. Hopefully this audio is okay. I think it will be and not overmodulated like every other one. 15th time a charm. What?
You're talking like a weirdo.
That's how I talk. That's the way I talk.
Hi, Melinda. I just wanted to wish you a happy Christmas. There's only 5 more days, so I just give you an early Christmas. Bye.
She is the cutest.
That's
cool.
cute.
Where is
Pablo?
What?
Did you tell him not to cook dinner
He
again?
got the afternoon off and he didn't tell me, so apparently he's been home.
Mm,
But I know he's gonna eat a
Careful
sandwich
with-
'cause they had pizza.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
No, I was like, why didn't you tell me you were up? And he's like, I fell asleep.
Mhm. With who?
Oh
No, I'm just kidding.
my god.
I don't care.
It's okay.
Oh, it's not.
You're such a weirdo.
They send me money through PayPal.
Mm-hmm. You just cash it out.
I've never done
You
it
do
before.
that also.
I paid you with PayPal.
I know, but it's just sitting there.
Yeah,
I don't
that's what I'm
use-
saying. I don't use PayPal.
Cash it
So
out.
you sent me like $40 on PayPal.
Yeah.
And what do I do with that?
You cash it out. Just
Huh?
go in there and put cash out.
But then you got to get a bank. You have to
link
put a
it to
bank.
your bank, and I don't
just
want to
put
do
your
that.
debit card.
No,
I-
you have to put it through your bank.
Mark, ask Mark. Like when I paid him, because what did he buy?
Because I linked my credit card to it, thinking I can put it, but you can't. It has to either be a debit or a bank, and I don't want to put my bank, and I don't have a debit card, so it's sitting there.
For all that there.
Claudia, you just got me a bunch of Starbucks. Thanks.
I paid you back.
That's what I'm going to do right now, actually.
Wait, how do I check PayPal?
It's because I don't carry cash, and like for me to go withdraw.
And go to the ATM,
Yeah.
put in the debit card, withdraw cash.
All of the money I have on my PayPal is
It's a lot of work.
I don't even know my account.
you got money.
Oh, yeah. Let's just inconvenience everyone else.
What?
You're
What'd you
like,
say?
let's just inconvenience everybody else.
Well, it's the future. Get a freaking PayPal and cash it out. It's the future.
PayPal's in a like it's
past.
a past.
I used
It's
it with
so
eBay back in the
old.
day.
No, it's not.
I know. The only time I used it was for eBay,
eBay.
like 5 years ago.
No,
In
I use it
1994.
everything I buy, dude. Like when I buy on Forever 21 or Express, and I'm too lazy to put in my information, I just log in through PayPal, and PayPal pays. And
Wait.
the awesome thing is that if you want to cancel your order, PayPal protects you, so they'll make sure that you they won't release the money until you've confirmed that you made that purchase. It's a protected purchase.
What?
I love
Okay.
PayPal.
All right. Let me go back to payment method.
You can pay people on Facebook and all that stuff.
Do you owe a lot of people money? Like,
No,
why do you
I
need
have a
it?
friend.
Paid people on Facebook. I saw $5 balance. I was like, what am I going to do with fake money?
Yeah, it's there.
She sends it to me. I'm like, thanks. Now I have $30 of nothing.
Let me just
There,
it,
you
or just
ancient.
Like, throw away,
throw away my money.
throw
Thanks
away
for.
my-
Move with the times.
Go back with the times. Is what's happening.
It's Pablo
35
in Edinburgh.
minutes of nothing. Why am I talking like
This
that?
is golden.
Retrievers.
Pablo was in Edinburgh.
Doing what in Edinburgh?
I don't know.
Are you stalking
Uh-oh.
him?
I'm checking our bank to see if the money got pulled out.
Uh-oh.
And he was in Edinburgh. He told me he was asleep.
What time was it at?
I'm Darth Vader right now.
Darth Vader and goes, "Arr."
No, but he's like,
What does that mean? Was he snoring? Was that Pablo or Darth Vader?
that was Darth Vader.
Mm.
Like, baby, we're at Walmart
Pretty good,
in
pretty
Edinburgh.
Maybe it was for your birthday present. For your Christmas
No.
gift.
He bought me a gift yesterday
How do you know?
because he put it under the tree with a gift bag that says Sephora.
Yeah, but how do you
And
know?
he didn't put
it was
tissue
for you?
paper in it, and I don't want to peek because I can see it, but I don't want to peek. But I think I peeked in his face.
Did you peek? You did peek.
What?
Just not in America.
I-
That's it.
It's 10 feet from me. Like,
Just
you'd
not
be
in the
okay with
United
one, like,
States.
a pair of them just, like, making out?
Well, no, I wouldn't be okay with
that's public
anybody
display of
making
affection.
out
I don't like that
in
at
front
all.
of me.
Really?
Yeah, straight
you
or
So
gay.
when
okay
you
with-
go to the convention center and people are
Why am
making
I at the
out,
convention center?
when you go strolling down with Kelly?
I don't go there.
What?
Is that a
I-
thing
It's
people
cute.
do?
Yeah, you go and you walk around.
You're like, you go make out there. That's what you do.
You go walk around and watch the sunset, and then like a kid gets in front of you and trips you, and you just keep walking.
This is very specific.
No, my dad, before I got with Pablo, we would go like every Sunday, and we would just chill in the grass, and you would see the couples making out.
That's gross.
Oh!
Cool.
The Roma Christmas tree's up.
Look at this Christmas tree. I'm totally going to do this. Look at that.
Oh, that's pretty
They
cool.
put like a baby one, and it looks like a ginormous one.
Like
I'm
out of the
totally
roof.
going to do that.
That's pretty cool.
Is that her house?
That's creative.
No, it's not my house. She just shared this tweet with me.
And I was like,
Cardio.
let's go swim for cardio. And he was like, freaking Speedo, like, and I was like,
What does that mean, Speedo? He was like, Speedo.
Speedy Gonzalez?
No, a Speedo is
It's
a little
a
underwear,
bathing
bathing
suit.
suit for men. The ones that they wear.
Not just men.
Well, women, it's a brand.
It's a brand.
And it's
Yeah.
speed.
You mean he was fast? Speed.
He was really fast.
Not he was wearing a Speedo. He
I
was
love
wearing a
it. My
Speedo?
freshman year, that's what I did for exercise. But
Mental picture.
Well, he's your husband.
I know.
Mental picture.
In a Speedo. I don't see him in a Speedo.
You should buy him one for Christmas. 47 minutes of nothing.
you said 41. Did we just spend 6 minutes talking about Pablo and the Speedo?
It's
That
that
was
time.
No.
This shirt is gross. I look like a pinky.
Like a Twinkie. You do.
A Twinkie's yellow.
Yeah.
But a little brown.
That's not even brown.
Never mind. You.
You what?
We can start now.
Okay. Ready?
A sandtart in
What
English.
did Ariana call them?
A dedo de
Angel.
ángel.
I've never heard
Angel
that before.
fingers? That sounds brutal. Like,
Angel, like nun fingers sounds better.
Hmm?
That's how I know it in Spanish. Dedos de
Dedos de
monja.
monja. Nun fingers. I'm gonna get you with his finger.
What does that mean? Get
You
what?
bad child.
Oh, why would they hit you with a finger?
I don't know. They're mean. I went to private Christian school in Mexico, and they were mean. I got hit in the head with one time.
Like rulers and stuff like that.
They put you in the corner and put like the burro ears.
I think that's just sheer imagination.
It's
No.
like the Mexican version of the dunce.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I think
I hate
that's
it.
just in your imagination.
They're mean.
That they put burro ears on you. I'd love to.
That is a thing in Mexico.
I'm sure it is, but
No,
I think
know.
I
I've
you.
heard so
Burro.
many stories of like people in Mexican school, and it's real crazy there. Like stories that don't sound real. So honestly, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Like
no.
I've never
Alright.
heard of it, but I don't doubt it.
Okay. Ready, guys? 49 minutes. Let's see.
Have
Hold on.
confidence.
Let me just.
Would you be a nun?
No, I don't think I could be that nice.
Nice.
You just said they were mean.
Like like.
But you know how she's
not
really
watch
mean.
TV and
Oh, that nice. Okay. I
pray
get you.
all day
Not all day. You can teach little kids.
and wear those dresses all day. I'd get shafted or
What?
shaved.
What?
Shaft,
What?
Do you mean chafing?
shaving, shaved,
What?
whatever. Like just from the dresses, you know. No, I don't think so. That is a life of celibacy. You?
No, because of their like weird, like their head things. Like I have a gross face, and I don't think I'd be able. I don't think I'd look
Are
good
you so mean
without,
to
like,
yourself?
Without hair. Like, can you imagine me without hair? I'd look like a
Melinda.
That's the
cockroach.
only reason why you couldn't do it.
Yes. It's like, can you just imagine me like Doctor Who
No,
style?
your cheeks would pop out.
Well, yeah, but like you would only see this part of me, and that's gross. And everyone would be like,
You'd have to
"Oh."
have like perfect eyebrows because it would
And I
accentuate.
don't.
your
I keep
eyebrows.
staring at my eyebrows are real crooked. I need
What
to
do you
get them
call
done.
not the twins. They're stepsisters.
No, they're sisters, not twins. But my right now look like they're like long lost, like cousins.
They look like primas.
twice removed.
Yeah.
They look like cousins right now. They're real deformed. I need to get them fixed.
Sounds great.
Could you be a monk? A priest?
Am I a monk right now?
Could you be?
Am I a priest
No,
right now?
I
Then
can
no.
see your horns.
No, I mean, I wouldn't want that life. You ready, guys?
Yes, let's start.
56 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, again. Wave your hands for the second time. Woo, woo. Okay. Bye. Have a good night.
Or evening or morning.
Or morning.
Or second
breakfast. I think.
Second breakfast
Maybe.
or whatever I can.
May the 4th be with y'all. So this is just going to have like a bunch of endings.
May the force... Oh, let's do it.
May the force be with you.
Try it again.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
And you. And you.
And you.
Our 5
forever,
audience.
always. Yes. May the force be with you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Guys, did you guys not get the hints? I was like, guys, cut it. Cut it. If you made me laugh, I would have like
Exploded.